one or two steals, all great defensive games.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
A wonderful good day to everybody. How you guys doing? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. My name is Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. Now, Michael Jordan, the greatest player of all time, my favorite player of all time. To me, it's always such a weird situation when you hear other players and fans talking about the weaknesses of, or so-called weaknesses of Michael Jordan, criticizing certain aspects of his game, and then me being a fan for like almost 35 years, analyzing his game, having watched like literally thousands of his games, and then you feel like I have seen that you guys are not speaking the truth. I've seen it with my very own eyes. So in today's episode, I want to talk about why are people talking and lying about Michael Jordan weaknesses, and I want to give you my perspective on that. But before we start with that, let me ask you guys for a small favor. If you're new to the show, subscribe to the channel and like the video if you enjoy the content. All right, you guys, let's do it. Now, one of the points that I always hear is Michael Jordan was not a great three-point shooter. And that, to me, is always a situation where I think like, yeah, he was not a great shooter at the early stage of his career, but as his career developed, he had really worked on a three-point shot, even though he did not take too many shots. Why? Why would a player that can easily blow by other players and has such an incredible mid-range game, why would he shoot three-pointers if he has a more secure way of shooting, especially in a time where three-pointers were not as important? Now, when people say, oh, he was not a good shooter, tell you guys, take a look at his shooting percentage at the later years of his career, like in his 30s, and take a look how he approached the game. He took only a handful of shots, but when he was open, he would make them. He was not a bad shooter. Was he a great shooter? No. But when people say that he couldn't make the three, that's bull. And hey, listen to the man himself.
It's something that I don't want to excel at because it takes away from all phases of my game. My game is a fake drive to the hole, penetrate, dish off, dunk or whatever. And when you have that mentality, as I found out in the first game, of making threes, you don't go to the hole as much. You go to the three-point line.
The next thing that really drives me crazy, and I've seen so many clips of other players saying that he did not have a left hand, and that is just ludicrous. Not only have we hundreds, thousands of moments where he not only dribbled the ball successfully in a very, very smooth way with his left hand, but he penetrated a lot with his left hand. He has some of the greatest finishes with his left hand. He does things with his left hand that other greatest players who ever played in the NBA could not do with their right hand. So how in the world can people say that he only had a right hand? So there were guys like Isaiah Thomas. Now we know Isaiah Thomas always had this situation going on with Michael Jordan, and even though I like Isaiah as a player, he does certain things and he says certain things that I don't appreciate, but that's a different story. But then you also have guys like John Sally, who I really like, who says that, hey, Jordan could not go left. Same thing with Kenny Smith. And I'm like, where were you in the mid-80s? Like, why am I seeing like thousands of situations where he showed that he was great with his left hand? And maybe his left hand was not as good as his right hand, but if your right hand is an A star and your left hand is a B plus, what are we complaining about? It just does not make sense. The guy used to shoot free throws with his left hand. Not often, but he did it a couple of times. His finishes were incredible with his left hand. So, guys, sorry, you can talk all you want. I have evidence right here.
He didn't have great handles. Couldn't go left, right? And if he went left more than 2-3 times, he had to pick it up.
I used to say, it's like, oh, you think you can guard me? It's like, yeah, because your handle's whack. I used to say, your handle's whack. I can guard you. And like, blah, blah, blah.
The rules are very simple. Left side of the floor, send him left. Right side of the floor, send him left. In the middle, send him left.
He didn't have a handle. He couldn't handle the rock like in college.
MJ?
No, he couldn't handle the rock. So like even at times I'll be like, we play pickup, like, oh, I got Mike. You're like, cause I know I'm get up on you. Like you can't handle the rock. And
what happened? And then?
And then he's the only guy that I know that his weaknesses that he had at the end of his career was his strengths.
Baskets in the last 14 minutes. Jordan.
Another situation which was opened, or a case which was opened a couple of years ago, which I also thought was crazy. You have players who actually say that Jordan was just an average defender. I posted a video a while ago about Rasheed Wallace talking about Jordan not being a great defender. You know what? Let's take a quick look.
And I'm not saying that he didn't play defense. I'm just saying that, to me, his defense wasn't as high as most other cats at that time, or of course they put him on a lot of defensive teams because he might be playing weak side defense, but that's not really doing nothing. You playing the passing lane. All that take is a pump fake, you gonna bite, and I can hit your man back.
He don't bite though, he first team.
So they say.
So hearing that, and you have other players like Scottie Pippen, for example. I love Scottie, and I'm not sure because at that point, his relationship with Jordan was still okay. He said that many of his steals were written down as a Jordan steal, which I also kind of find hard to believe. You can look at like 99% of the games, watch the entire games, not only highlights, and see how Jordan defended. He was a sensational defender. Sensational. And there's a reason why he was the 1988 Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, just watch entire games. Don't just go by stats. Watch the entire games. Look how he guarded, I don't know, like Nick Anderson, for example. I saw a clip, a 4-minute clip, how he was guarding Nick Anderson in the 1995 playoffs, Bulls versus Orlando Magic. But the way he guarded Magic, the way he guarded so many players, hey, take a look.
He put forth on the defensive end. People don't talk about that enough. You know, you get on Facebook and it shows his dunks and his offensive plays, but you got to remember, I think he was first team, all defensive team, 8, 10, 12 years? I mean, people don't stress that enough.
So the last thing that I want to talk about is Michael Jordan's passing. Now, why do people say that he was not a great passer? The thing is, Jordan was a great passer because to me, a great passer finds the open man when he's open. So is a great passer also somebody who averages 10 or 11 assists? Like, for example, James Harden, to me, is not a great passer, even though he averages 9 or 10 assists per game. We always say he's throwing those bombs like oh shoot, I can't make that shot. Okay, last resort, let me make the pass. But Jordan would find the open man. Even though, of course, he was a primary scorer and that was his job. That's what I loved about 80s and 90s basketball. Players had certain jobs. Everybody contributed his skill to combine for a successful game. But Jordan's job was to score. But if there was somebody open, he would throw those great passes. And hey, again, take a look at those clips. Remember the pass to Steve Kerr in the 80 finals. Remember the double nickel game pass to Bill Wennington. There are so many incidents. Come on, guys. Not a great passer, seriously.
6 seconds to go. Chicago does have a full timeout and a 20 remaining. Knicks have 1 timeout left. Starks lost his footing. Here is Jordan, and a surprise sets up Wennington. 3 seconds to go. The Bulls by 2. The Knicks call for time.
Now, the question that I ask myself is, why are people saying that? And look, I always try to respect other people's opinion, and everybody obviously has a different opinion, and it's totally fine. But to me, what I always have a problem with is, like, if there is a lot of footage which you can cover, and be like videotape doesn't lie, and if you do your homework and you see like hundreds of games and you see how a certain player plays, How can you say he's not capable of doing a certain thing, which you see over and over and over and over again? Just doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, you guys, let me know in the comments below what do you think. Were those Jordan's weaknesses? Seriously, let me know, and hopefully I'll see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.